Hey everybody, I'm Grandmaster Ben Finegold with the funny facial tics, which separates me from the other presenters. So you always know who you're watching. Also, my tongue hurts. I was going to call the dentist today, but I don't know, it hurt less than it did yesterday. So I figured by the time I saw my dentist, my tongue wouldn't hurt, but it still hurts. So the truth hurts. Anyway, so my voice might sound funny and my face may look funny, but hopefully the lecture is funny. Anyway, tonight's lecture is called Finding the Right Plan in Closed Positions. And the sponsor wrote several paragraphs of what they were interested in, and I can't do all of them because it's too complicated. So I followed a couple of his directions, so he'll be happy. It's sponsored by Anonymous. Anonymous sponsors a lot of lectures, but this particular Anonymous is not Ted Danson. And the sponsor's note was, on behalf of chess desert dwellers everywhere. So don't forget it. Okay, so two things the sponsor wrote were he was slightly more interested in me looking at my own games instead of other people's games. And the reason is he wanted me to discuss what I was thinking. Now, one of the games is from 1992. So I was probably thinking Arby's. I don't know what I was thinking, but I can tell you what I should have been thinking. So the games are all mine, which is very unusual for a weekly lecture. In fact, I don't know if I've ever done that before. And they're all closed positions. 3 of them are in the same opening. It's an opening that only I play. And one of them is in a King's Indian where, well, I transposed to a King's Indian where the center was completely closed and I have the white pieces. And I play the King's Indian occasionally, and in one of the Chicago Opens about 15 years ago, it was a 7-round tournament. Now it's a 9-round tournament, so you can get norms. Although I think the lower sections are 7 rounds, because you can't get norms in the lower section. Anyway, the open section was 7 rounds, and 6 of my games were King's Indians. Now, the King's Indian doesn't always have a closed center, but it does sometimes. So if I'm playing white and black in the King's Indian, I have a lot of King's Indians with closed centers. But I think I understand the closed Benoni better than the King's Indian because I play it a lot and nobody plays it, so it's not considered very good, but I can't complain about the results. So if I'm playing something my opponent doesn't know that I play a lot, it seems like a good idea. Okay. Now, first, a lot of times when I beat strong grandmasters, I show the game on my stream, or I've done a lecture about it. Maybe somebody else has. But this game, even though it's the best player I've ever beaten, and it was in a team match, and I had black, I don't show it very often. And like games like I beat Gelfand before you guys were born, I show that game a lot, and I've memorized that game, even though it was played in like 1989. This game was played in 2017, and this guy's better than Gelfand, because when I beat Gelfand, he wasn't a top player yet. He was a good player. He's better than me. But Gelfand later became one of the top 10 players in the world and played a world championship match with Anand, which he tied, and then he lost the playoff. It would have been nice if Gelfand had won the playoff. Then I could say that I beat a future world champion. But I've never beaten a future world champion, although I've lost to one. Anyway, This game is against Shakriyar Mamedyarov. At the time, he was 5th in the world. And our team beat his team in the Pro Chess League. Although, in the last game of the match, Mamedyarov beat Wesley So, who was our board 1, in an amazing game. Okay, so this game is a rapid game. The time control's 15-3. Now, one thing that I've learned in psychology and chess is you want to get positions that you understand that your opponent doesn't understand. And that's very difficult to do because you don't really know what your opponent doesn't understand unless you've played them a lot. Now, Mamedyarov is a famous player, and he's not known for defense. He's known for lots of opening theory, deep preparation, playing fast, and playing aggressively. So, I'm a big underdog against Mamedyarov. He's way better than me. But if I can get a position he doesn't know that I know, maybe in a 15-minute game he'll play slower than me because he doesn't know it. And even better is if I have an attack because he's not known as a defender, he's known as an attacker. Now, doing that is hard because I have the black pieces. So playing faster than my opponent, who's 300 points higher rated than me, and getting an attack with black, it's not easy. But there's a reason why I play the closed Benoni. It's because I've played it a lot for many years, which you're going to see in this lecture. And my opponents don't face it very often, so they don't know the ins and outs as well as I do. Okay. So the sponsor wants a closed center. So there we go. Is that closed enough for you? Of course. And basically, black has 2 ideas. One is to play f5. One is to play b5. It's more common to play f5. And white has 2 ideas. One is to play f4. One is to play b4. And b4 is more common. Okay. White has a space advantage in the center. And one of the reasons to play this opening is if you play a normal opening that every grandmaster plays, and you get to move 15, let's say, out of opening theory, the computer's going to say either it's equal or white has a tiny advantage. And if it says white's winning or black's winning, that means grandmasters don't play that. If it says white's winning, grandmasters with black aren't going to play that opening. If it says black's winning, grandmasters with white aren't going to play that opening. So opening theory always says somebody's slightly better or it's equal. And if you play the King's Indian or the closed Benoni, the engine says white is much better, like +1, +1.1. And so because of that, grandmasters don't play the closed Benoni. And there's a few exceptions. Aronian, who's pretty good, he'll have this position with black sometimes. And when Yasser Seirawan was playing chess before computers, he would also have this position. So there's some exceptions. I actually started playing this because I was in Belgium playing in a rapid tournament, and Anand was playing this every game before he was top 10 in the world. He was about 25, 60 FIDE. But I figured if it's good enough for Anand, it's good enough for me. Okay. Now, because the center is closed, your king can often be safe in the center. And you're going to see white castle kingside, white castle queenside, and in one of the games I'm going to show today, white plays king d2. Okay, which may look funny. No, it doesn't play king d2 here. That would be funny. Later in the game. Okay, this game, Mamedyarov played very standard, I don't want to say boring, solid chess. Okay, I played bishop e7. Typically, Aronian and Sarawan played g6, bishop g7. But bishop e7 is what I play. And my idea, and one thing the sponsor was interested in, is how to maneuver the knights in closed positions, since the bishops don't have a lot of place to go to. Like the bishop goes to d3, it's completely blocked by its pawns. My bishop's completely blocked. My other bishop can't go to normal squares. But the knights can move around. And so the reason I don't play g6 is I like to put my knight on g6. And one of my things that I like to do that's different than most chess players is I like when my knights are next to each other because they control a lot of squares. Okay, my opponent played bishop d3. I put my knight on g6 as I indicated I would do. Some people play knight f3. Some people play knight e2. If you play knight e2, sometimes you play f4. If you play knight f3, you can't play f4 because your f-pawn's blocked. And sometimes you maneuver your knight to f5. Okay, so I played h5 because Asa Hoffman, who's a 2300 player in New York, he's been 2400 for 60 years. That's not a joke. 60. Asa Hoffman's about 80 now, and he still plays chess. He plays on chess.com still, too. And he told me one time in New York, because he likes to play this with black also, he said whenever they play knight e2, I always play h5, because I want to play h4, and they can't play knight g3. Okay, so he played h3. I don't really know why. I don't think h3 is a good move, but it doesn't hurt. And I played h4, and now he can't play knight g3. And one thing black likes to do when it's a closed center is find out what color the pawns are on and trade that bishop. So my pawns are on dark squares. So my dark square bishop sucks. His pawns are on white squares. His white square bishop sucks. Okay, his dark square bishop is pretty good. That's a nice diagonal. My bishop has a nice diagonal. And they're not blocked by pawns. So I want to trade dark squared bishops. So in a lot of closed Benonis, black tries to play bishop g5. Okay, and that's going to be hard for him to stop. Okay, but he tried. Played bishop e3, developing his bishop. I played knight f8, which I alluded to earlier. He played queen d2. Now it's hard to play bishop g5. Now, usually, when my opponent develops their queenside pieces and hasn't castled yet, they're going to castle queenside. And that's fine. White can leave the king in the center, castle queenside, castle kingside. No, nobody's attacking the king yet. And I played knight g6. Okay, so completely blocked. And again, I'm familiar with these positions because I play this opening a lot. And my opponents never face this opening because it has a bad reputation. So they're like, I'm better because the computer says so, but I don't have any games. I don't have any experience. The computer says black is worse, but I have a million games. So I know what to do, and I know what to do against my opponent's plans. Okay. And he played a3 because he wants to play b4, which I indicated earlier in the lecture. And I played king f8 I want my rook on h8 in case he castles kingside. My rook can start attacking by doing a rook lift. And my king is perfectly safe on f8 or g8. And a lot of times in chess, when you castle, you're not just getting your king safe, you are improving your rook. So your rook can go to the center and start doing stuff on open files. There are no open files in the center. h8 is the best square for my rook. My rook has a lot of space here. Okay? My rook on f8 or e8 or d8, it's not doing nothing. Okay, and he played b4. So he's playing good. Good player, number 5 in the world. Played b6. Solid. He took. Black can take either way. And in one of the games I'm going to show today, I took with the d pawn. It was a different position. And then I played knight e8 to d6. Here I took with the b pawn. And he played rook b1 because the b file's open. That's why he played b4. Then I played knight h5 because I want my knights to have access to f4. And he castled finally. And I played king g8. I figure my king's safer on g8 than f8. And this gives me the f8 square for all my pieces. In case I want to play bishop f8 or knight f8 or queen f8. Okay, and he played rook b3. He's going to double his rooks on the b file. I played bishop f6, intending to sacrifice a pawn. So I'm going to play knight f4, which loses a pawn, because he takes it. He has more guys on f4 than I do. But after knight f4, and everybody takes everything, my bishop's really good on f6, and e5 and d4. And I'll have the 2 bishops, because he'll have to give up one of his bishops to win the pawn. So I'm going to sacrifice a pawn and improve my bishop and get the 2 bishops. He played rook b1, and I played bishop d7, because I want to develop my last piece. And he played knight b5, attacking my pawn. I don't have a great way to defend it, so I just put my bishop back on c8. So my queen defends my pawn. Now his knight's blocking his rooks. So I move back with my bishop to defend my pawn, but his knight's probably worse on b5 than it is on c3, because his rooks can't come down. And he played king h2, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because now when I play knight f4, it's not a pawn sacrifice. Now the engine thinks that black is equal. I played knight f4. Now if we take everything on f4, and we never stop taking, he's going to have a queen here, and a king here, and bishop e5 is going to win his queen. Knight f4 is not a pawn sac. He took, I took with the knight. The engine wants me to take with the pawn. But okay, not a big deal. He took, he can't play queen takes because of bishop e5, which I already mentioned. Now my bishop's pretty good. And I have the 2 bishops. My bishop has e5, and I can start attacking with my rook. I can do a rook lift. Okay, he played bishop e2. He wants to trade white squared bishops because his white squared bishop sucks and mine's great. Also, I have the 2 bishops. Okay, now, no matter who I beat, I never get accused of cheating. Typically, if I beat Mamedyarov with black and somebody like me, there's some chance they cheated because Mamedyarov's a lot better than me. I never get accused of cheating because people know me. They know I don't cheat. And more importantly, the computer doesn't like any of my moves. So I'm not cheating with the computer because the computer says I'm playing terrible. The computer says, what kind of opening is this? And now the computer really hates my next move. F3, sacrificing a pawn so I can open up my bishop. But I have to attack because That's the only way to beat a higher rated player, is to put him under pressure. So he took, and I played bishop e5 check. Obviously, if my pawn's on f4, my bishop's not as good. Now my bishop's pretty good. He moves his king back. I played rook h6. I'm going to play rook g6, threatening bishop h3. And he played bishop g4, which I mentioned earlier is why he played bishop e2. He wanted to trade the white squared bishops. So I took. Typically, h3 would give me a good attack, but his rook's on b3. So he's defending and attacking. And I played rook g6, attacking his pawn. And when I played rook g6, I only analyzed one move. Because if this move is good, then I'm completely lost. And the move is good, but I have a response. And his move is f4. Now, if I play bishop f6, he plays g5. My game just sucks. I want to play bishop d4 check and then take his pawn, but his knight's on b5. Black only has one move here, a6. Now, if the knight moves, I play bishop d4 check, take on g4. So he took my bishop, and I took his knight. So the center is still blocked, but I'm attacking on the g file. Whoa, that didn't work. I'm attacking on the g file and the a file. All these pawns are hanging. So in a rapid game, it's very difficult to play the correct move because he could take either pawn. He's got more than one way to take. He could defend his g pawn. Who knows what to do? Okay. So he took with the c pawn, which the engine agrees with. It says good move. I played c4, which the engine doesn't like, proving again I'm not cheating. But I'm trying to get his rook off of his a pawn so I can take it. I'm trying to queen, and I'm trying to open up this diagonal so my queen can go to b6, and I can start attacking. And all that stuff happened because he made a mistake here. His first mistake of the game. Played rook b4, he should play rook c3, keeping an eye on his a pawn. Rook b4 is the first mistake. Now the engine says black is doing fine. I took on g4, threatening h3. Of course, if his rook was on the third rank, which it should be, then I'm not threatening h3. So I broke through on the g file, and I'm breaking through on the a file. And when you play closed positions, when the center is closed, those sentences are correct. You break through on the flank. And he played queen e3, which stops h3 and defends his pawn on a3. And I played rook g3. I said, get your queen out of there so I can play h3, and rook takes a3. And he played queen f4, so I still can't play h3 because he takes my rook. I took on e5, he took back. I played queen b6 check, and now he blundered. He's equal if he plays the right move. He played king h1. The right move is king h2. Okay, and it's actually obvious why king h2 is better when you see the game. If you don't see the game, then it's not so obvious. But basically, if I can play h3 and he can't play queen takes rook, then I'm winning. h3 is crushing. But I can't play h3 because he takes my rook. That's why he should play king h2. It makes h3 harder to play because my rook is hanging by two pieces. But now I made the winning move. When I show this to people, they always think I played queen f2, which attacks g2. But then he can play rook b2. And then I can't do anything. But I played queen e3, which is the winning move. Now, black is threatening h3, and my attack is too strong. It's very hard to stop h3. So he stopped h3. He played king h2. Of course, he should have played king h2 the previous move. Now if I play h3, he takes it. Okay, but I have one more piece to defend my rook. I took on a3. I'm completely winning. And material is finally equal. But now I'm attacking his king with everything. And my king is perfectly safe. He played rook takes c4. And I missed a very elementary mate. Once again, proving I'm not cheating. And because I didn't see it. I saw a complicated mate, but not a simple mate. The simple mate is rook h3 check. That's the only legal move. Queen f2 check. That's the only legal move. Rook h3 check and mate. Okay, or if you don't like that, then mate. And the reason I didn't play rook h3 check is I was analyzing this. I didn't see queen f2. If I saw queen f2, I would have played. And I saw this. I saw he had to take. And I wasn't sure if I'm winning or I'm losing. The engine says black's winning. So that would have won. But I played forced checkmate. So, okay, I sacked my rook on g2. And now I played an unusual move. I have a queen and a rook, and I can play queen f3, and queen e2, and queen h3, and rook a2, and attack his king with my queen and rook. But actually, I have to bring another piece into the attack. That's my pawn. h3 check. It's obvious. It's got 3 legal moves. If he goes to the h file, I just check and play queen g2 mate. And going to this h file, that's no different. So he played king f1. I played queen f3 check. If he plays king g1, I have mate. If he plays king e1, I have check. And then I can mate with queen f2, rook e1, or rook e2, queen f1. I don't know which one I was planning to do. It's the same mate, just one's with the rook, one's with the queen. So after queen f3 check, he resigned. So the center was completely blocked. I broke through on the G file and the A file, and by breaking through on the G file, I ended up checkmating his king. And that's the best player I've ever beaten, and it was in an online tournament, the Pro Chess League. And I beat him with black, and I didn't beat him because he hung his queen. That's one way to beat somebody. I beat him because I sacked a rook and mated him. So that's the best I'll ever do. The whole rest of my career is downhill from there. Okay, but I understand those positions better than I do most positions because I have them a lot. Okay. The next game is the only game that wasn't in that opening. This was a modern, which transposed to a King's Indian. This was played in 1992 in the US Open. And when I prepared this lecture, I thought of this game. And I found the game, and now I can show you. I've never shown this game because my opponent's rated 2,000. In 1992, I was pretty good. I tied for second in the US Open, and I didn't lose any games. I had 7 wins and 5 draws. And I think I was paired up twice. Okay, so we eventually got a black center. And I think black should play c5 here in this position. I think taking just gives white an advantage. White has more space in the center, and white has a lead in development. And the engine loves white because it looks like a King's Indian. So, of course, if his pawn was on c5, which he could play, we'd have the same pawn structure as the last game. But because my opponent didn't play c5 this game, I got to play it. He played knight e7, wants to play f5. I played c5 because I have a chance to play c5. Open up the queen side where I have a space advantage. He played f5. I played f3. And the sponsor wanted me to look at closed positions So my opponent played f4, closing it up more. Okay, so the center's completely closed. My opponent's going to play on the king side. I'm going to play on the queen side. And we're going to see what happens. Now here I'm quicker, because usually in a King's Indian, white doesn't get c5 in so quickly. Often black plays knight d7 or b6 to slow white down. So this is a good version for me. Played g5, typical. I played rook c1. I'm going to open the c file and then come in with my pieces. He played king h8. Probably he wants to play rook g8 and start pushing his pawns. I played knight b5, putting pressure everywhere. He played b6, which was a mistake. I took and played queen d2 with the simple idea of doubling my rooks on the c file. So I got my queen out of the way. And my queen can go to b4, attacking d6. He played bishop a6, which is a terrible move because he needs his bishop to attack my king. That's a move a grandmaster wouldn't play, and I'm mildly surprised somebody rated over 2,000 would play such a bad move. Because you can't trade off your white squared bishop in the King's Indian, you need it to attack. And well, the bishop was defending e6, which is prime for my knight. So I don't know how he played bishop a6, terrible move. Play knight c7, my knight's coming to e6, and I'm also threatening his rook and his bishop. And I'm attacking on the queen side, I have threats. I have an open file for my rook. He hasn't started attacking me yet. He's preparing to attack me, h5, g4, but his bishop's gone from c8. Okay. He played bishop b7, doesn't make any sense. Giving me my choices of which way to win. I played knight e6. Knight takes rook also wins. I didn't want to trade my knight for his rook because my knight's better than his rook. So I just improved my rook. Played bishop c8. Now he can take my knight. So I took. And I doubled rooks on the c file. He played h5, a little bit too slow. Queen b4. Attacking his d pawn. Played g4, doesn't make any sense. It seems obvious to play knight g6. Your knight comes to the attack, and your bishop defends the pawn on d6. So, he's still completely lost. He's down material, and I have the c file. He played g4, so I took on d6. He doesn't have any good discoveries, because I'm threatening queen takes e5 check. He continued with his attack, g3. He doesn't have any pieces attacking my king. I took on e5 with check, and now he resigned. If he plays the obvious move, bishop g7, then I play queen takes knight. And then if he takes this, I can take back or play king f1. And I have two connected passed pawns in the center. And I'm up the exchange, and I'm threatening queen takes g7 mate, and he has no attack. So it's funny, when I play somebody 2,000 when I was good, half the games were like this. I just rolled over them because I'm better than them. And half the games, it was like equal for a lot of the game, and eventually I'd win time trouble or a blunder or something in 50 moves. So I usually win, but it's nice to win by just crushing somebody because they don't understand the position very well. My opponent played bishop b7, bishop a6, bishop c8, and he never got an attack going. He let my knight go to e6. He never threatened my king, and opening doesn't have a good reputation anyway. After knight takes e2, he's just worse. So that was like an easy victory I had in the US Open. In a close center, I broke through on the queen side, and by the time he broke through on the king side, he's down a lot of material. Okay. Now, black, the next two games, this is against Alexander Lesiege. He's a Canadian grandmaster. He's better than me, higher rated than me. But I think he plays poker. I don't think he plays a lot of chess anymore. So he's rusty. You remember this from my Mamedyarov game? Got the closed center. Mamedyarov also played bishop d3. Here, Mamedyarov played knight ge2. So did Lesiege. I played h5 against Mamedyarov. Played h5 here. Mamedyarov played h3. And Lesiege played h4. Okay. So I can't play h4. And I can never play knight h5 like I did in the game with Mamedyarov. So time to move my knight to g6. I played g6 to stop his knight from coming to f5. Not something I usually do. I usually play knight g6, but I didn't want his knight to come to f5. He put his knight back because he can't play knight f5 anymore. So his knight does nothing on g3. I played knight g4, getting out of the way of my f-pawn so I could play f5. Also getting out of the way of my bishop so I can take on h4. He played h4, so I might as well attack it. Played g3, so I can't attack it. I played knight h7, so I could castle. He attacked my knight. And he played bishop e3. Engine just says white's better. White has more space. And I played a6, thinking I'll play b5 at some point. Played queen d2, still not showing me where he's castling. I played rook b8. I want to play b5. He played a4, so I can't play b5. But a4 makes it more difficult for white to play b4, like Mamedyarov did, a3, b4. So he's stopping b5, but he's making it hard for him to play b4 himself. I played bishop d7, and nobody's traded anything. It's really boring. Just white has more space. And he castled finally. I castled. And now it's hard for him to play b4. It's hard for me to play b5. But if I move my knight, let's say to g7, then I can play f5. And he can play f4 whenever he wants. Although playing f4 is risky because it gives away the g4 square. He played rook b1. He decided to play for b4. I said, no, you're not going to play b4. So the whole queen side's blocked up. Played knight b5, but that doesn't threaten anything. So I played knight e8. I'm going to play f5 at some point, or knight g7 and f5. He attacked my rook. I played knight g7. And he played f4 finally. And Gregory Kaidanov, who's a grandmaster in Kentucky, who's for the most part retired, plays a little bit. He was my coach in 1992, 1993, and he told me, whenever you play the closed Benoni and they play f4, you have to take it. And before he told me that, Walter Brown played f4 against me, and I didn't take it, and he played f5, and I couldn't move. And Kaidanov was like, you got to take that. So now I always take it without thinking, because I have to take it. Otherwise, white plays f5. So I took it. Now, if you take with the pawn, your h-pawn is hanging. If you take with the knight, the rook, the queen, or the bishop, that gives me the e5 square, so my bishop can come to e5. He took with the queen, sort of threatening my d-pawn. I got rid of his knight, because I don't want to lose my d-pawn. And then I played bishop f6. My knight on h7 is defending my bishop. And just like in the Mamedyarov game, my bishop found a good diagonal. Queen f3, bishop e5, knight f4. I played b6 to block it up. His bishop on d3 is terrible. Why did I play queen e? Oh, I know why. If I play f5, I want my queen defending my g6 pawn. Okay, now my knight wants to hop into g4. I don't understand bishop takes g7. I guess my knight's going to g4 attacking his bishop. They thought he had to do it. Now, it's obvious that black's better here because white has no plan. And white's bishop is much worse than my bishop. And I have the g4 square. It's hard to break through. But I'm not in a hurry. White can't do anything. And his bishop just terrible. And eventually, my opponent got tired of waiting, and he went totally nuts. Now my knight comes to e5. And he played that. Although he has to play that because rook e2 is a blunder. It's a very strange blunder because it's very obvious I'm going to play knight e5. I just played bishop d4. So I'm going to play knight e5. And rook e2 traps his queen. It's funny, the queen has no move. The center's completely blocked, but my minor pieces are on active squares. His bishop is terrible and his queen's trapped. So he has to give a piece away, but he has no compensation. So I'm just up a piece. I can win up a piece. I used to be good. Played a little tactical trick. If he takes it, I play knight takes check, winning his queen. Then I did it again. If he takes it, I play knight h4 check, winning his queen. And then he resigned because he's down a piece for no pawns. So that game, his white square bishop was never any good. He never got an attack. I think his f4 move is anti-positional because he can't take with the pawn because his h-pawn was hanging. And then he gives me the e5 square. Okay, last game was also in the Pro Chess League, the league where I beat Mamedyarov. This is against MVL's team, the French team. They're all French grandmasters. And we beat them. And one of the reasons we beat them is because I beat one of their grandmasters on board 3, Yannick Gozzoli, who's higher rated than me. Okay, we played the usual. Looks familiar. Okay, this is the same as my game with Lesiege. Okay, he played f3, never play f3. Lesiege played knight g3, and I played g6. Gozzoli played f3, and I played knight g6. Now, it's hard for white to castle, because h4 pawn is hanging. If white wants to do anything with his king or rook, he has to play g3 first. So he played g3. I developed my bishop. He played a3, like Mamedyarov, to play b4. And I played king f8, just like against Mamedyarov. King g8, and b6. And I don't know why, because I usually don't do this, but I decided to take with the d-pawn. And I'm going to put my knight on d6. And my knight's really good on d6. Okay, and he played king d2, which may look weird, but I can't attack that king. The center's completely closed. So he wants to push his kingside pawns and attack my king. And his king is perfectly safe basically anywhere. I can't get to it. I played knight e8 to play knight d6. I played knight d6. He said, I want to get rid of your knight on d6. I said, that's fine. Get your knight out of there. And it's good to trade pieces when you have less space, because your pieces are all crumpled up. Now that I've played a6, bishop d7, and he's traded off his knight, I can try to play b5. Maybe I will get at his king. He played queen b3 and said, you're not going to play b5. I said, no, I'm going to play b5 or b8. And he said, no, you're not going to play b5. Man, tough opponent. Okay, then I played king h7 so I can get my rook on the f file and maybe play f5 because he doesn't want me to play b5. Then he played queen d1, eyeing my h-pawn because I just undefended it. And I played rook f8. So I'm trying to play f5 or b5. He played queen e2. I put my king back on g8 because I don't like it on h7. And now, if you fast forward in my lecture to this very second, you could bet your friend that I castled kingside, and your friend would win that bet. It looks like I castled kingside. Okay, he played rook b1, which surprised me because I thought he was going to try to attack my king. And I played knight h8, which I play a lot in these block positions. And the reason I play knight h8 a lot in the block positions is because in 1986, I played Vishy Anand when we were both 16, and he played knight h8 against me to remaneuver his knight, a move I never would have thought of. But now I want to play f6, knight f7, knight d6. Put my other knight on d6. Okay, so I did that. And he attacked my king. And I played b5. Because I can't play f5. And b5 might sack a pawn, but his king is on d2, so I'm trying to get at his king. He's going to attack my king. I got to attack his king. He took, and I played c4, attacking his bishop. And if he takes my pawn, I play rook c8, and all his pieces are hanging on the c-file. So he played bishop c2. I played bishop c5, so I could play knight d6, putting pressure everywhere. He played bishop takes, and queen e3, which is a mistake. And now I played a collinear move, which John Nunn says are impossible to find for humans. But I know that, so I find them a lot. And obviously he missed this move, or he wouldn't have played queen e3. White's a pawn up. White's king is on d2. He wants to trade queens because then his king isn't unsafe. He's a pawn up in the endgame. But I played queen d4 check, which I'm guessing he missed. And now if he trades queens, I win a piece. If he moves his knight, I play c3 check. Doesn't move his knight, I take it. Okay, and he did take, which surprised me. He should play king e2. I don't know why he didn't play king e2. Well, I guess that's why he lost. He made a bad move. Then he wins all of my pawns. So he has 3 pawns for a piece. His king is still open. And now he has 2 pawns for a piece. And when I'm a piece up, I win because, I used to be a good player. Now if I'm a piece up, unclear. Move my king up in the center. He's trying to trade all the pawns off because if I don't have any pawns, I can't win. If he plays e5 to get rid of my last pawn, I play knight c4 check, take with my knight. So he played king e3. You're just not resigning here. It's a team tournament. You don't want to resign early or teammates get mad at you. I can still blunder this rook e6 check. Play f4. Now I played a cute move, king e6. And he resigned now. If he plays d7, hoping for king takes d7, rook takes f6, then I play rook d1. There's nothing he can do here. I'm going to take his pawn with my rook. So that's a few games I won in close positions. And with black in the close Benoni, those players were all higher rated than me. One was a lot higher rated than me. But I understood what to do. Play for b5, play for f5, trade off my dark squared bishop, don't let him checkmate me. And I have those positions more than my opponents do because I've been playing it for so many years. Engine doesn't like it for black, but I don't mind because I get positions I understand that my opponents never have. And that's good to do in the opening, even for an amateur player, as long as you're not giving away material. A lot of people play these gambits because they like them, and I'm like, you're down a knight. Terrible. So I don't sacrifice anything. I give my opponent a positional advantage, but I understand the position better than they do, usually, especially when I don't show you the games that I lost. I only show you the games I won. But I beat a lot of higher rated players with black, so I can't complain. And you get positions they don't know, so usually I have a time advantage too. Anyway, I hope you play closed positions better after that lecture. I once again want to thank our sponsor, Anonymous. He writes on behalf of chess desert dwellers everywhere. Hope he enjoyed the lecture. Hope you guys in YouTube land enjoy the lecture. And I'll see you guys next time with more weekly lectures. If you want to sponsor a lecture, contact my wife. Her details are in the description. And please like and subscribe so our channel gets more views. See you guys next time. Bye.